Mein Geist, der du bist in Alma, dein Name sei geheiligt, dein Reich inkarniere sich in mir, deine Kraft entfalte sich in mir auf Erden und in den Himmel. Ein tägliches Brot gib mir heute, so ich erkenne meine Schuld und ich erkenne die Wahrheit. Und führe mich nicht in Versuchung und Verwirrung, sondern verlose mich vom Irrtum. Denn Reich ist es. Eigne mir die Kraft und das Wissen in Ewigkeit. Okay, all right. We're now going to deal with the laws of life, creational laws, thanks to Filipinas. And we're going to deal today with the law of abundance. All right. Oh, you don't want the, okay. The law of abundance, the principle of plenty, fullness, abound, overflowing. How do we balance spiritual and material abundance? Being pure spirit creative energy as our original state, we are and always have been able, abundant in all non-material things, and perfect. However, to experience and realize the other side of that state, we needed to create polarity, duality, which is matter and all there is. Our spirit, as a collective, creative life energy, has decided to both actually experience the maximum abundance and the most extreme poverty in material level. It also dives and delves to learn the mid pathways. In complement to those purposes, it also reveals both the greatest richness, I guess, the moderate and the most intense poverty and spirit in the visible worlds through various phases or angles of life. Each of us, as a part of the creative, active, collective spirit energy, create life experiences in the material realm through multiple physical incarnations for the sake of the evolution of our material and spiritual consciousness. The materialization of the creative inner energy is the visible or tangible expression or manifestation or revelation of the invisible, intangible spirit reality. The tree of eternal life, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the trees surrounding them are the metaphorical natures and levels of our spirit world, which is abstract reality. This reality is analogous to the essence of a father, as it is called in the Bible, because it is where all the spirit seeds, spirit forms originate. It is also called the astral state, the unseen dimension. As the astral is the paternal matrix containing all the spirit seeds of all potentials, these spirit seeds are fragments of the one collective spirit creational energy that is in all these spirit components, act like semen seeds of a father figure who is complete in itself as a pure spirit nature. The seeds of the spirit world incarnate or penetrate into the physical forms, earthly bodies that act as feminine receptors or soil, where kernels of life are sown to grow and develop. The spirit creative energy forms, called spirit seeds, are spirit essences of love, wisdom, joy, knowledge, power, understanding, peace, goodness, righteousness, and many more. They have to develop and realize their full potentials by growing first in the material, maternal matrix womb before they are born and progress into full consciousness of themselves within all existence of reality. We, as the spirit forms, are the seeds of those spiritual essences. The word matter came from the word mother. It is the material maternal womb matrix where all physical, visible, tangible forms come from. The spirit world as the masculine matrix and the material world as the feminine womb are synonymous to the positive energy and the negative energy. Their relationship with each other as man and wife, two opposite realities but one existence, produce all living and non-living forms and their interconnections. The spirit seeds, as the invisible forms, need the material matrix as the visible reality so they can manifest or express or reveal and experience their hidden potentials. The collective spirit, pure spirit with no polarity, as the creator, has been existing from no beginning to no ending, even before the creation of matter. To create polarity or duality, this collective spirit that is one and only, then concentrated a part of its creational energy into a very high degree of creative oneness and pleasure, producing the sound similar to the creative energy sound brought about by the feeling of pure oneness in lovemaking, then exploded great amount of thick, dense spring of fire energy, causing the Big Bang into the dark space of uh, sorry, the dark space of maternal material womb matrix, forming the sun's stars as light and their cooled off versions as planets in the universe. This creative oneness and pleasure of the spirit-matter relationship is a non-malicious, logical, productive activity of one creation. The spirit as the creator and matter as the creature, when combined as one, is neither pure spirit creator nor pure matter creature, but a new being in neutral state called creation, which energy is neither positive nor negative, but a complete merging of the polarity. The union of our weightless, denseless, collective spirit fire energy with its dual polar dark heavy nature of material energy form the heavenly bodies cosmos in levels of succession, following the law of progress. One of the principles collectively agreed upon by all spirit forms in their creative pleasure and unity. Through the long repeated cycle of evolution, life forms such as one-celled organisms began to appear on the surfaces of the material worlds or matrix until finally humans and primates, the most complex brain and bodily functions of creation, had been formed. The dense, dark, pure matter symbolized by the negative energy and the mathematical operation of subtraction or minus is abundant with the diversity of all its forms, shapes, sizes, colors, textures, tastes, odors, sounds, etc., in their uncounted potentials. Okay. Everyone okay? Did you want me to stop first or do I continue? Okay. All right. I'll continue. It's so beautiful the way she describes it. It's very poetic, actually. All right. And I enjoy reading it. All right. The denseless, weightless, pure spirit light, symbolized by the positive energy and the operation of addition, is parabolical to the tree of life and all the plant growth surrounding it. Also is infinitely rich in essence of wisdom knowledge, understanding, power, good advice, respect, admiration, reverence as branches, the spirit of trust, reliability, faith, durability, helpfulness, cooperation, assistance, prophecy or prediction, healing, etc., as sub-branches manifesting themselves in various forms, perspectives, stages, and intensities. The engagement or entanglement between spirit and matter or creation, having the duality polarity similar to male and female, requires a complete knowing and understanding of each other so they can truly marry each other and be completely harmoniously one body, producing offsprings that will grow to their full potentials. The spirit essence principles of diligence, endeavor, resilience, hard work, persistence, and many more are the leaves made perfect by the essence of love, charity, joy, gladness, enthusiasm, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, sincerity, humility, modesty, self-control, self-management, supervision, friendliness, and delight as the fruit. Creative talent, skills, including the academics, arts, and sciences that are good for livelihood and entertainment, flourished by continued research, observation, discovery, innovation, etc., belong to the progress in this world. Material realm, physical life, are analogous to the trees growing around the two main trees. The tree of life, also called eternal life, our undying spirit, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is also called the tree of death, all in the Garden of Eden. As spirit consciousness, we have everything. We can choose and pick any time what to actualize and experience in our incarnate, physicalized, or discarnate, or out-of-body state, for the purpose of expressing and honing our hidden natural potentials, actualizing and manifesting them in the matrix of matter through the use of our physical bodies as instruments for experience and learning, serve as the objectives of our incarnation and reincarnation in the material worlds. Together, spirit and matter are two but one creational energy. The material chemical elements, the building blocks of physical formations or appearances, as we know, are very tiny particles. The spiritual elemental energies, such as thoughts and feelings, on the other hand, are tinier. They are infinitely fine but immeasurably powerful seed energies. They perform inner transformations, affecting the outer reality through creative, destructive conversions and or transmutations of their essences using willpower. The law of the will indicates that the spirit's thoughts, ideas, and feelings, emotions are the might of the actualizations, realizations, or manifestations of desires, either in the pure spirit or astral world or in the physical universe. Creation of all life embodiments together with inanimate objects in their innumerable variations in structures, measurements, frequencies, vibrations, facets, and degrees in all directions are material expressions of the spirit reality. All living forms are offsprings of matter-spirit tandem, including the human beings on all habitable planets. Humans on the planets, treading the path of their evolutionary consciousness, have reached different levels of spiritual and scientific and advancement. More evolved humans from interplanetary dimensions created humans on Earth by re-engineering their DNA, using their more advanced spiritual and material consciousness. Were called gods, or sons and daughters of God, or angels in the Bible's Old Testament, and other old manuscripts from Babylonia, Mesopotamia, now Iraq, Persia, now Iran, and other older terrestrial civilizations. Our spirit is undergoing an evolutionary process to attain its highest potential, the same as our material reality. Though they are opposite in nature, they are one and in need of each other to realize the fullest possible capability enhancements of the collective spirit seeds forms. The material universes with all their stars, planets, and other cosmic bodies, and their trillions or more, however huge, are still very small in size and quantity compared to the perpetual space and nature of the spirit realm. Matter, symbolized by Eve, is just one rib taken from the body of the spirit, symbolized by Adam. The word taken from the body signals that the part has been subtracted from the whole, indicating the minus operation, creating the dual polarity of positive and negative in the nature of one creation. Two polarized bodies coming from originally one non-dualized whole must again unite temporarily through intercourse, which in literal term is sexual intercourse of the physical bodies to multiply. In metaphorical sense, is being neutral, recreating little Adams or males and Eves or females of the human, animal, and plant kingdoms, which are forms that are neither pure spirit nor pure matter, but the blend of both, replicating their source, creation. These forms are classed in different kingdoms, inheriting all the richness or abundance of the male energy, spirit nature, and the female energy, matter nature, which we earthlings call Father, Spirit, and Mother Earth nature. As you see, not only human possesses spiritual energy or essences or their equivalents, but also plant, animal, and inorganic forms. Because all kinds of creation have the positive, negative, neutral, charge, or gender, including atoms. It is the universal nature of creation. Dogs have the spirit of loyalty just like humans in varying degrees and perspectives. Penguins have the spirit of love, protection, support, and provision for their kids like humans. Ants manifest diligence just like humans. Plants and their different characteristics recreate like humans. The spirit of beauty as an internal and external quality can be in many ways richly exhibited as well by animate and inanimate objects. All of the spiritual essences are all in matter. They manifest themselves in many, many different ways, unleashing their different levels of frequencies, vibrations, and intensities of all kinds. Spirit and matter abundance is overflowing in and around us. On the other side of the coin, each and all of them also emanate the opposite or negative traits or nature, expressing the abundance of both sides of the polarity. Ambivalence of thoughts and feelings, emotions, is an inner conflict existing in human nature, but the polarity of essences are also manifested by non-living material forms. Examples of this is the spirit of durability or strength and weakness found in metals, woods, rocks, etc., in which these contrasting qualities are equivalent to the spirit of endurance patience, self-control, courage, perseverance, persistence, etc., and their opposites revealed not only by humans, but also animals and plants. The problem in humanity exists, however, when its spirit of knowledge increases as a part of its ongoing evolutionary material and spiritual consciousness. The flourishing of material sciences as branches of knowledge through inventions born by necessity, coupled by discoveries, the wants, not necessarily the needs, also grow incessantly, from which the feeling of lack, poverty, emptiness, or something is missing arise. The Bible calls these worldly desires, including the uncontrollable urge for sex, as it becomes not only a source of experience, manifestation, and means of procreation, but an illness of too much is not good for you. While the spirit of understanding has not yet fully matured on how to balance and best use each creative desire as one spirit energy, it becomes destructive. These passing urges for possession of material or physical forms as temporary expressions of the power of inner energy called Kundalini, extreme vices, and unmanageable inner conflict can arise, in which innovations resulting to high technologies can be misused. The spirit of knowledge manifesting itself only part by part, which means it is gradual and seasonal, without the spirit essence of true wisdom and understanding, is proud and arrogant. Pride or arrogance come from an incomplete knowledge and understanding of the unbreakable connections between the inner and outer realities. Just like imperfect wisdom brings about foolishness and ignorance created by the temporary veil of unconscious producing oblivion of one's true essence, selfishness arises as the effect of the passing illusion of division, separation from the whole. The illusory division, separation from the whole, creates the feeling that something is missing and needs to be filled, because instead of light, which is complete consciousness and abundance, the phantom of void and darkness fills the gap. Hence, this illusion of separation or division among the parts of the whole grows the ego, which is incomplete material consciousness acquired through the limits of the physical mind. The ego, as limited as its nature is, wants to look bigger, taller, higher, stronger, etc., by wanting to control everything and take everything towards itself for fear of appearing less. The minus sign, which is fear of losing, the illusion of subtraction itself, the feeling of emptiness, dissatisfaction, loneliness, self-pity, sadness, and the like are forms or facets created by this passing illusion, makes us search for happiness and completion from the outside, such as from another person or material things, separate from our own being, because we do not feel and see ourselves as one complete creation. The effect of the temporary illusion acting as a veil that separates us from the light prevents us from seeing the whole truth, what truly exists, what truly is, the eternal power within that unifies our higher and lower self, connecting both our permanent and passing reality as polarized intricacies of life cycle towards its completion through evolution. We are one complete being as constant, but the full vision of this is lying dormant under our superficial nature, waiting to be uncovered. We are not separate from the whole, always connected. So we have everything, all that we need and may desire. So, as much as they are good for us, are there for us to work on to achieve what we crave for. That may not be appropriate for us if we insist on having them are temptations to make mistakes that can be both feel good and painful, but looking at the positive side of darkness are lessons that supply us actual experiences rich in learning until we wake up to proper balancing. The spirit world has full vision. Everything is seen in 360-degree view, where connections are perfectly seen. Not even the least amount of division exists. There is no feeling of fear, loneliness, emptiness, or littleness, and the like, because the truth is all there is. There is no deceiving feeling of I am more or less than you because all is one. So each member is equally important as all the others. You are high, I am high. You are low, I am low. In the full essence of empathy or sympathy, everyone is center. Fear of death does not exist because we, as one spirit of creative love, life, and light, are undying energy. Our collective spirit in full consciousness as the eternal cycle of life energy does not lose any essence of calmness, joy, righteousness, goodness, peace, understanding, knowledge, wisdom, and creativity. It is our imperishable nature. Jim Carrey said, "We are not material body gaining consciousness. We are consciousness embodied." Our pure spirit nature is absolute consciousness, but we need to expand in material consciousness in relation to the realizations of our spirit essences through actual physical experiences. Being spirit forms, our many physical incarnations are aimed at gaining as much as physical experiences as possible to develop the best visible or actual expression, manifestation, revelation of our inner invisible core, our true self. The kingdom of heaven is not a place and is always with us. It is parabolical to good, balanced mental state, correct state of mind, actualizing the neutral positive essences, weighing in the right amount of virtue or vice, because the excess of either is the evil one. Our spiritual kingdom is rich in infinitely amazing thoughts, feelings, and other indescribable inner sensations whose intensity inexpressible in matter. While we are in our physical form, we are embodied consciousness undergoing the processes or phases of our spirit reality revelations as possible expressions and manifestations of our true inner nature in the limited scope of matter. However, though our material nature expression of evolution is still restricted due to our present level of knowledge and ability, we visibly and tangibly have made some levels of progress from the infinite pool of potentialities. Our spirit and material consciousness work together in furthering the realization of our potentials as individuals and as a collective entity. The materialization of the spirit energy essence encompasses all directions and dimensions of all kinds. Through life processes, the continuous ripping away layer after layer of the passing illusion that blurs our intellectual and mental psychological visions, which are both spiritual and material, influencing our individual and social realities until we destroy the last strand that covers the truth that we are all equally abundant in all things. the spirit of pure bliss and glory, our true identity, the entire face of our spirit, which is complete power and perfect consciousness, fully alive in our being, is all embracing in everlasting wealth. Humanity, the true master of itself, temporarily made servant of its own ignorance and prisoner of the two evils. Excess of virtue and excess of vice will be totally free. We have heaps of treasures in our dual nature. Open our inner and outer eyes. See and understand what and who we are, where and how to look. At times, the realization of modesty, humility, concern, thoughtfulness, kindness, acceptance, diligence, forgiveness, and the like is the way to fill the gaps. Pain and suffering can be illusions brought about by ignorance, such as jealousy, lust, gluttony, laziness, greed, anger, and pride or arrogance. Those who may be poor in material terms can be rich in the essence of love, faith, hope, waiting, hard work, trust, patience, sincerity, humility, inner joy, service, peace, etc. On the other hand, those who are materially wealthy may lack the revelation, expression, experience of other spiritual essences honed by their counterparts mentioned above. However, this may not be true to all cases because we can be rich both in matter and in spirit. The question is, how can we be extremely abound in both sides of the polarity? Or do we always have to go in the equilibrium of all things? When it comes to balancing, this quotation says, keep everything in moderation, including moderation itself. Finding out the realities of things themselves through experience makes sense when we also adopt learning from others' mistakes. If we memorize all theoretical knowledge and just seek about the revelations of other people who have made their lives shine like clear glasses to others, but without trying them out personally, we are missing the true knowing and practical understanding. Reality has levels and sub-levels. Our one universal collective spirit experiences them all through the partition and participation of all its components. So each of us as individual spirit form has each own role to play for the completion of all the angles of one whole reality. Our collective experiences in the material worlds, however similar and or opposite with each other, are each truly unique. Their variety completes the pool of each sharings and contributions indispensable to the full growth of all potentialities and evolution of consciousness of one creation. It is all ours. If we can fully learn only by observing different life manifestations, reading, meditating, and listening without experiencing the act, should it not be enough for us just to stay in the spirit world and remain innocent, pure spirits we originally are? In other words, just download all information spiritually without putting on a physical body as a tool for actual experiences, so matter is not necessary, which nevertheless we do need for this very reason. Matter dissolves completely when the spirit does not need it anymore for further experience and learning. It is where change is no longer required and has no more power over. Then the maternal matrix or negative principle, that part called rib, taken out or subtracted from the body of the spirit, the fraternal body of or positive energy will be inserted or added back to it to claim its true original wholeness. Then there will be no more illusion of separation or division. All temporary shapes and forms will melt and dissipate into nothingness, which is the original state of absolutely pure, infinitely fine form, shapeless spirit. Dense, dark, heavy matter as a concentrated part of the pure, denseless, weightless spirit light energy will then go back to its true nature, which is also pure light spirit energy. This process also is analogous to the making of alcoholic drinks or spirits through fermentation, where the solid fruit turned to liquid, then to gas state, the transformation of matter back to spirit. Of course, in the pure spirit realm, there is no challenge because everything is good and pure, but the invisible essence potentials of our spirit will not be honed and expressed in the visible material worlds and remain secret forever, which means that our capabilities will not grow fully if not acted upon or practiced using physical forms. Just like the essence or spirit of an artist, however great it is in theory, cannot develop its full potential if there was no application of the talent at all. The burning desire or energy has to manifest itself outward to be seen and appreciated by, so it creates feelings of freedom and emotions of joy to the doer, and at the same time, joyful admiration and thanksgiving to the receiver, which are duality filling each other up. Two opposite parts of one creative energy, which both exercise and experience itself spontaneously and simultaneously. How can we, as pure, timeless spirit forms, truly know and comprehend the state of impurity if we do not actually merge our pure spirit nature with matter? How can we effectively learn to wisely use material things, including the physical body, if we do not do the actual procedures which are time requisite? In the pure spirit dimension, where souls, thought, feeling, sensation, energies are not wearing their physical bodies, move, create, and travel in the speed of light or faster. Our spirit nature as our true permanent reality versus matter as our passing simulated reality is our dual existence. The material energy, characterized by constrictions and thickness by which processes are painstakingly slow, is exactly the reason why the perfectly light, fast, and infinitely denseless, joyful spirit energy decided to plunge to this polarity to experience and learn the other side of itself. From the matrix of the spirit world, we have been conceived in the womb of matter, unconscious of our true self. We need to be born and get out of the dark matrix to both see clearly the shining glory of our spirit and fully understand our material nature. From there, we expand to our true power. We are one mind, spirit in many physical frameworks, one creational energy fairly distributed in many material forms that split us up into many small fractions of the indivisible whole. We, as physical bodies or matter, is not the enemy. Our enemy is the veil of ignorance, the unconscious that prevents us from seeing transparently the indestructible unity and connection that has existed and has ever been from eternity to eternity, even before the creation of the material worlds or universes. Our task then is to wreck this forgetfulness, destroy the illusory mask, for it is like a curtain that impedes the expression of our true self, the light. This veil of darkness is the root or creation of selfishness, analogous to the tree of death and its 7 branches: lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, jealousy, and pride, harvesting its fruit as suffering, weakness, hopelessness, distrust, impatience, division, war, poverty, and the like. The tree of death indicates that its destructive energy is temporary, so it dies, and its passing can produce change, transformation for the better. Chopping this tree into pieces, then burning it, symbolizing hell, a painful state of mind until it turns to ashes, so the energy that we consume for these undesirable thoughts and feelings, desires, emotions can be used as fertilizer to the tree of life everlasting, our consciousness-based creative energy. The tree of life, or life eternal, is the creative energy that never dies. Its abundant life echoes the everlasting cycle of spiritual material creativity combined, unleashing all that is good, healthy, and sustainable. The spirit of consciousness and its might, enthusiasm, inspiration, and freedom overflow in all of us. Note, biblical connotations are cited to connect the dots as I have realized the interconnections of all there is, one source. The differences, including the opposing beliefs and ideas given by religions and sects, from which I have read many books, are due to many factors. Time or seasons, various events, why, how, and where they took place, to whom they happened, the languages and other communicational signs and symbols used, the level or angle or degree of knowledge and understanding of the reader and the writer of what perspective, dimensional realm one is looking at, and the differences in translations of the evolving meanings of words, they all contribute to the complexity and differences of interpretations around the various regions of the globe. What we need to see is not only what lies on the surface, but the interconnections taking place at the core. Authenticity tends to decrease as it moves away further from the central source. This is the thickening of the veil. Otherwise, originality varies in expression. That's it. Wow. That's quite, but it's so beautiful.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, but very
Yes.
poetic, huh? No, it explains really the counterpart and the energies and how things work. It's like the physics of creation. That's what's beautiful about this. Is this? I'm glad we began. I am glad we began from the law of abundance.
Same here. Same here. Same here. We started with the basic, the big bang.
Yeah, and how we get there also going back. Yeah. Okay, so maybe we should go like a portion by portion so that then we could be able to digest this in parts and then see where we can start having our discussions.
Did you
What's this?
notice the tree of life and the tree of death?
Yes, exactly. All right. Let's see. Yeah, we can. Does anyone have any question just popping in your mind, and we could try to go into the article and try to sort things out if there's any if things are still nebulous in your heads, or maybe if someone can maybe as we go through it read through and then maybe summarize in Tagalog or something so that sometimes words can get in the way and be able to if we could how should we say paraphrase in Tagalog. Who can who among maybe June? Are you good at that? Um, you know.
Uh, I can only give it a try. Bigyan mo ako ng isang portion and I'll see kung
Let's
kakayanin.
go. Yeah, we have to go. We have to show the article so we can all follow. I think. Uh,
Yeah. What do you want to? What do
as
you
we
want
read
to?
through the stuff,
For the meantime, pwede dyan muna tayo sa starting. Can I run to the restroom? Pasensya na.
Oh yes,
Ang hirap
please,
Go ahead.
ako.
Go
please,
ahead.
yes.
Hindi ako makaalis
That,
kasi kailangan kong i-change
Go
yung
ahead. Go
pages
ahead.
eh. Sorry. Diyan muna
that's
kayo,
why.
mag-usap-usap muna kayo
Yeah,
about
yes.
college.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
you, dear. Yeah, okay, go and relax. Okay. Yeah,
Itong
June, no?
itong first sentence, napaka-intriguing ito. How do we balance spiritual and material abundance? Napaka-intriguing. Kasi alam naman natin, di ba? Net neutral positive equalitativeness ang ating objective, di ba? Pero ang tanong how? How do
How
we
the
do that?
Carabao.
How?
I remember that in grade school.
You
How
remember
the
that?
Carabao Batuten.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You still remember.
Yeah, whatever Tagalog I have, I learned in school. So up to
Yes, yes,
I
yes,
know.
yes.
Was it high
Kaya,
school or
kaya
whatever?
nga, it cannot be erased. Nandiyan yan. Kagaya nitong, itong question na ito, paano natin babalanse? Ano ito time immemorial, yan ang tanong eh. Miski sa corporate world, meron kaming, kung tawagin namin uh, uh, it's a process that any issue will have to go through the question of what, where, when, and why, and how. And para marating yung ultimate, kailangan pumasa doon sa word, sa question na how. Hindi magiging mag, kahit maging maganda sa pakinig ang isang proposal, kung hindi naman magagawa, wala rin silbi. Kaya yung tanong na how, napakahalaga nun. Kahit na alam mo na lahat ng sagot dun sa lahat ng tanong Pag hindi mo alam yung sagot sa paano, wala, mawawalan lahat ng connect. Kaya nakaka-intriga tong tanong na paano natin babalanse ng spiritual and material. Inikot-ikot tayo ni Pilipinas, di nyo napansin.
Si Tita Helen mukhang may question, Kuya Jun.
Sige nga, Helen, para maka-focus tayo. Sige nga, Helen.
Yeah, pasensya na kayo at ako very busy. Bukas na ang alis ko. So,
Oh, so
nagtitipid
you're
ako
not
ng-
in Switzerland
at
yet.
the same
I
time,
thought you were there.
yeah, nag-wash ako ng laundry lahat kagabi. Ngayon lang ako nagtitiklop. Okay, my question is, what are examples of poverty in spirit? Parang naalala ko nung nasa sentro ako, na ang ini-encourage ko naman sa kanila ay yung maging mayaman tayo sa espiritu. At in material things, it will follow. Ewan ko bakit nasasabi ko yon. Natotoo namang nangyayari sa mga kapatiran dahil nga ikwento ko na noon na yung pinamunuan kong mga kapatid noon ay mas matatanda sa akin, ang mga sa barangay mahihirap sila. And then dumating ang panahon, nagpuntahan na sa Italy yung mga anak-anak nila. So hindi na nahihirapan maghanap ng kung saan kukuha ng pamasahe pag magmi-mission. So napaka-dedicated nila as espiritista at nangyari yung sinasabing maging maunlad kayo sa inyong espiritu and material things will follow. Pero dito naman, sinasabi dito yung poverty naman in spirit. So magbigay tayo, huwag tayo mag-focus doon sa kung ano yung ating nagagawa. Kung hindi, baka meron tayong nagagawa na poverty in spirit. So ano-ano yon. Thank you.
It's further down in the article.
Binanggit dito sa unang paragraph ng ng binasa mo Cynthia, yung poverty in spirit.
Okay. Let's see. For me, I guess it's like balancing the dark and the light, and so we feel that way only when we're not in balance. But I think when we're mindful of our thoughts, and I think the main thing is to be able to pierce that veil, the veil that keeps us from seeing the whole. And like if we I think we fail to see the whole, like the fullness and abundance, when we're also too much also into the material world, which is passing. And so when you see that things die or come from us, then you feel the lack, and you don't like if you feel, for example, like in my case, I can only speak from my own experience. When I feel greater joy, for example, when I'm able to share and give, and for me, and I guess and that arises, I'm able to rise and give only because I know that inside I'm always abundant. So it's also your frame of mind that when you're really plugged into creation, or say the source, then you're not on battery power. So it's like a fountain, then you can afford to be like a tree and really give of your fruit even to those, those that make you when you're like a tree and like neutral positive, you give both to those. You don't see a difference, that one is higher than the other or more deserving or things like that. You're able to give wholly and joyfully to everyone. That's how I'm able to balance. You don't just give to the people you think are good to you or what, and this, because you're able to see the good in everyone, and really in real time, and you're conscious of that, and you can see the light. When you see the light, then it really pierces you deeply, wanting to give and add on to the light, especially when there's darkness, because you see that there's really also a spark and a parties of creation. So how can you be mean to others? You know, sometimes that person may not just be wholly aware of their true nature. And that's why I find it's mainly by example that we can really impart this wisdom. And you know, sometimes they're really in want and stuff like that, but yeah, but there's some that are really lost, and you know, can and the main, I think what's more important is for them to, is for you to be able to share these are the might of her thoughts, because you know, just like I read Emmanuel when they're talking about fishing, and it's just, it's really abundance is also frame of mind. When you could connect with that, then you will know, and you will be able to gain impulses that will guide you to what you actually want to manifest in your life. But it's important for action to happen. You can't just think or have wishful thinking without follow through. That's why the action is vital. You know, you can't just wish, for example, for a tree to grow or for plants to just sprout out of the ground. I mean, sometimes that happens, right? But you can, there's really no control or intention what's gonna pop up there. So you have to plant the plant, right? If you want to eat the vegetable or the fruit or this and that, you really have to do something. It, you know, who knows? Well, maybe when you're more when, but at this level of the game, because there's different levels of actuality when you really think about it. You know, when you come to the level of, I guess, more like the God level, these things that may appear miraculous is only because you gained the knowledge to be able to realize the oneness in all things and the interconnection. So you're able to manifest things like instantaneously or spontaneously. But when, as you learn that, when you are able to learn the connections, and then gradually we will reach that state two, because we're all parties of the creation, so we can actually reach the level of God beings. But that's, see, we're all capable of that. Just have to be patient with
Tungkol sa
ourselves.
tungkol sa sharing, masasagot siguro yung unang concern ni Helen at saka yung binabanggit mo, Cynthia. You will be sharing something coming from you, di ba?
Oo.
And
Yeah, that's the only wisdom
kung
I know.
meron ka, walang problema, you can share it. Ang problema, ang reality of things is that hindi naman abundant sa atin in all respect ang pwede nating i-share, especially sa material side, di ba? Kaya kung naalala kong bigla yung sinabi ni Bong Revilla, saka nung asawa nung napag-usapan yung tungkol sa corruption, sabi nung mag-asawa, ang tono nila paano naman kami makapagbibigay doon sa mga nangangailangan kung hindi naman kami kukuha doon sa mga proyekto out by way of corruption. Ganyan din ang suma total ngayon sa kabuuan sa panahon ng Speaker of the House. At lumalabas sa pagkakaalam ko ngayon, lately, binuko na ni Sara na dadalawa may hawak ng pera sa House of Representatives ng budget. Si Romualdez at saka yung isang congressman na Saldico. Ang ginagawa nila, sabi ni Sara, para i-paint ko lang yung situation ng meron at wala. Sabi ni Sara, binibigyan daw ang isang departamento ng budget kahit hindi humingi. So, bibigyan ka, may item dun sa approved budget mo, X amount of pesos. Pero yung budget na yon ang magdi-dispose nun, yung Senate President lang, saka yung finance officer ng Senate. So, in effect, ginagamit nila yung departamento as a way na ipalabas nila yung kanilang pagbibigay. Kasi sa ngayon, ang sistema ni Romualdez pumupunta sa mga probinsya. Oh, parang si Willie Revillame, ang dating eh. Bawat isa sa inyo, bibigyan ko ng 5,000. Nagsisisigaw na ganyan. Ang tanong, namimigay siya. Pero saan siya kumukuha? Hindi kumukuha siya doon sa hindi naman niya, hindi naman kanya. So abundant siya doon sa hindi niya pera. Question, nasasatisfy ba yung law of abundance na dahil nagbibigay ka dahil sa meron ka nagbibigay ka kahit yung meron sa iyo hindi mo naman ginawa ng maayos. So conflicting, di ba? Napakahirap balansehin. Kung sa panahon kung sa isip ni Romualdez, mabait ako gusto ko yung mga anak ko kulang, mabigyan ko makapagpuno ako So, iniisip na o sige, kukuha tayo dun sa budget ng may budget. Kukunin natin yung pera, ipamimigay natin. Wala kang masama hindi naman tayo makikinabang. Sila ang makikinabang. Tama kaya? Palagay ko, pwedeng sabihin, oo, pwedeng sabihin, hindi. So, nandoon ako sa tanong na paano natin babalansin? Ang hirap, ano?
Yeah.
So, palagay ko nasa motive yung poverty in spirit. Kahit na alam mo na kung alin ang tama, nagde-deviate ka pa rin. Kunyari, parang ganon. Kunyari, tama yung ginagawa mo. Pero yung purpose mo, hindi. Ikaw yung nakakaalam. Ikaw lang yung nakakaalam. Ikaw yung nagpapaikot sa mga tao. Pero yung purpose mo, sana, maganda sana. And then, kung hindi tayo matalas sa ating mga, sabihin natin, cognition, no? Alam natin ang genuine at hindi genuine. Alam natin ang tama at hindi tama. Alam natin kung ano yung poverty in spirit. Alam natin yon. Nagkukunwari na maganda ang intensyon, pero hindi. Yun lang. Thank you.
Dugtungan ko yan, sinasabi mo yan. Unahan ko na yung iba. Tungkol pa rin kay Romualdez. Kung ang question ano ba ang motivation niya? Bakit siya namimigay ng pera ng may pera? Pera ng gobyerno yan Bakit siya pinamimigay? Bakit kailangan siya ang magdada sa probinsya? Ang tanong bakit? Yung how, nagawa na niya yung sagutin yung how Ang susunod na tanong bakit? Yun nga yung motivation. Ano ba motivation ni Romualdez sa nakikita natin obvious? Gusto niyang maging maging prime minister O kung maaari, presidente. Kung hindi mababago ang charter, presidente. Bakit natin nasasabi yon? Bakit ko dinadala rito yung usapan? Kasi yung motivation ay pamigay mo yung pera ng may pera. Madaling
But that
sabihin na,
belongs,
come again,
sorry.
come again.
But that belongs to the people. There should really be accountability, right? Accountability
Yes, which,
and yeah, well, there should be, because
yes,
that's really comes from the work of the people. That's that
yes,
if they
yes,
just want to hold, because they figure they're the ones that are like the gatekeeper for this wealth, and then everyone has to kowtow to them in order to get
yes,
this. So that is where
yes,
corruption exists.
yes. And as a matter of fact, yung liquidation ng kanilang mga pera can happen by mere, uh, anong pangalan nito, certification. Hindi sila kailangan mag-submit ng resibo. Pero the
This
question
is
is,
where, yeah. Mhm.
bakit, ba't sila ganun? Paano nila nakakayang dibdibin o kung how can they, how can their conscience accept it na they're doing something na self-serving? So, nandiyan yung sagot sa tanong ni Helena. Paano natin makikita yung kakulangan sa spiritual?
I have a question, June.
Please,
So
go
all
ahead.
this stuff, because it's so beautiful and really quite poetic. The translated work by Filipinas Warburton. Did you try? It would. I know this. Okay, this translated works. This is something she's done mainly for like the use of this group, right? It's not published yet, but has she tried to maybe obtain like permission so that she could work with somebody from the German, then that way it can be published, because it's really deep and really makes a lot of sense, the connections. I mean,
Helen is working towards that. The
oh
fact that
my gosh, I
she,
hope
she,
so, Helen. Yeah,
she has made
because
available a copy. I understand from her the way one time she said it, that she will prepare a printed copy and give it to SSFC. I don't know if she's
yeah,
still interested to do this.
Christians, so that they could look into it, and then
Yes.
maybe
Will
if
you
they
proceed
wanted
with
to
it, Helen? Will you be proceeding with the copy to the center?
What's the question?
Will you be able to give the center a copy of the Book of Filipinas?
Saan?
yeah.
Sa center.
Ah, oo, pwede naman.
Yeah, to Christian,
Yun
because
lang
I think it's so important, Helen. It's really beautiful.
oo.
I mean, and I feel that I mean, for my own, how do you call this, instinct, that it's really, it's very poetic and stuff, and very important for the rest of the English speaking world, because then, it's amazing, the
Parang,
mastery of it.
parang
With
nabanggit ko na yata kay,
Oh no,
kay
but Christian,
David
but you have to
noon. Yeah.
not try to bring a hard copy of it and stuff, and ano, to, how do you call this, to yeah, really, or Christian, if I have a chance, but if you could bring a hard copy, so we can present it, at least present
Ang
it
bigat.
to Christian, because
Cynthia,
he's the one in charge of English speaking. Huh?
Cynthia, ang bigat. Nakapag-print na ako. It cost me $134.
Well,
Na,
we have
parang
to get it.
napasubo ako ng printing, nagtuloy-tuloy, hindi ko na ma-stop.
Well,
Lumalaki na
we have
kailangan.
money. We have money for it. We should reimburse you for that. That's why we're pooling our resources together, precisely for things like this, which are important. This
No,
is where we should.
I mean,
What?
Cynthia, yung pagdadala ko sa sa Switzerland, hindi ko siya dahil limited lang yung luggage natin. Sa Pilipinas, doon ako magpiprint kasi mura lang sa atin. Dito,
Pero Helen, how many pages
oo.
are involved? Di ba less than 600 pages lang yan? one rim, more
Oo.
than a rim. Baka pwede yung kahit at least one copy papunta kay Christian, madala mo.
Okay, oo, walang problema. Yeah. Kasi
Okay,
may
good.
study rin naman. Oo,
Solved.
yeah, yeah,
Solved na.
good.
Solved na.
Oo. Oo,
Solved na.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Kasi ang
it's very
I
mangyayari
will.
niyan,
important eh.
I will. I will.
ang mangyayari niyan,
Kahit
either
tatlo.
igagarbage siya ng center or bibigyan niya ng imprimatur. Or it will
Mhm.
be published even without any official
Yeah,
acceptance.
yeah, yeah. I'll do it. I'll do it. Parang
Very good. Ayan,
naisip ko na
sige,
siya.
settled na.
Oo.
Yeah,
Nabanggit
because
ko sa kay
I
baby.
could
Mhm.
I could champion and that's why it's important to establish ties with the FIGU, because like when Michael
Yan.
Voigtlander was
Sa,
with
sa,
us,
sa,
he
sama kayong dalawa ni Helen, Cynthia,
oh,
in bringing it over to the center.
right,
Oo.
because yeah, we'll be working together naman eh, di ba?
Oo.
And
Sa
we could
23,
approach
meron
we could
tayong
talk with Bernadette and all the stuff there because Michael Voigtlander, because they're also over there. He also encountered before he's one of the youngest members there, but he also experienced what do they call it, the boycotting or something like that, with some, because we're all learning. They're not, even if they're close at the center, doesn't mean that they already understand all the teachings and stuff like that. Even if they're German, they also have limitations. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Oo,
there's personalities and all that stuff. That's why we can be together. And then that's why I said, because if Billy's not feeling well, that's okay. If he can't meet with us or me, that's fine, because I want him to rest. But for me, the main reason I'm also going there is actually to have time with all the women of Figu, especially Bernadette, and then Madeline, and then Eva,
Eva,
stuff like that, so we can talk
yeah.
Melinda,
because
Cynthia, meron
yeah,
tayong
yeah,
meeting yung last day natin, October 20,
no,
September 23, last day
but
natin. So magluluto si Piale ng maybe Indian
but then
food.
I'll be leaving.
Magluluto ako ng Filipino dessert. So lahat na lahat 'yon mag-a-attend tayo yung 23rd na 'yon kasi last day na natin. Yeah. Yung
Pero
iba
aalis
mag-aalisan
kami
na ng 24. Oh.
aalis na kami kasi, because I think we're leaving
Wala ka
our
na.
flight going back is in the afternoon, up to what time we're already gonna be gone. Let me see. I think
Oh.
we're leaving. I mean, hold on. Coming back, our flight coming back to San Francisco, we're taking off already at 1:15 in the afternoon on Monday. So I don't think we
Okay.
can participate in that
Oh, I
party.
see.
Yeah.
Kasi hindi tayo
So
magkakasabay-sabay lahat dahil
I
iba-iba ang schedule natin sa center eh. Walang
but I know
magkakapareho. Yeah.
the one we're gonna be together. You, me, Cheryl,
Oo,
and
maybe
Carol Pearl.
1 day ba
Carol
'yon?
Pearl.
1 day or 2 days
No,
ba?
no. It's according to the schedule, like most of our days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we're off Friday, and then I think Saturday also. Let's proceed.
no problem. Basta yung
Anybody
akin
else
dyan
with?
sa of abundance, merong mga misnomer na marami kanyan, pwede mong ipamigay. Pero ako naniniwala ako kung ano yung kapos sa'yo, yun ang dapat mong ipinamimigay. Yun ang, kung ano yung kulang, kung ano yung hinahanap mo para sa'yo, yun ang magandang ipamigay. Halimbawa, kulang ka sa pera, halimbawa lang. Pero kung may pamimigay mo yung kung ano yung hawak mo, mas masarap yung kisa ron sa marami kang pera na pagkukunan ng ipamimigay. Kaya yung prinsipyo ng motivation ng mga corrupt individuals na kukuha ng pera from somewhere, parang si Robin Hood, parang si Aladdin na mang darambong para makapagbigay sa mga mahihirap. Hindi pumapasa sa akin yun eh. Mas gusto ko yung kung sino yung kapos, yun ang nagbibigay. Yun ang napakalaking pagmamahal na ipakikita. Kasi yung marami ka, yung daling ipamigay yan. Nung araw na nagsusugal ako, dumikit ka lang sa akin pag ako nananalo, kahit hindi kita ka-vibes, bibigyan kita eh. Ang yabang ko eh. Dahil marami ko eh. Pero nung nagtatatalo na ako, nag-iisa na lang ako.
So, dahil meron pa tayong time, pwede natin tanungin sina Francis, Delbert Ricci,
Pwede.
Noy, tungkol doon sa poverty in spirit. Kasi mahalaga din siya. Dahil baka
Oo.
akala natin eh, tayo ay nakakatupad na, nakaka-accomplish na tayo dahil ginagawa natin ito. Pero on the other side, baka meron pa tayong poverty in spirit.
Sige. The table is open.
Meron lang akong tanong tungkol sa sinulat ni Pilipinas bago kayo magtanong sa kanila tungkol sa poverty. In general, kasi napakaganda nung binasa kanina, naisip ko lang na may binagbasihan ba na mga punto si Pilipinas doon sa mga pagdidescribe niya about Adam and Eve, tungkol sa planetary, kung paano niya isinegue yung parang comparison, yung magaganda ano yung mga salita niya eh. Ang curious lang ako, meron ba siyang pinaghugutan na libro na binase? Na isulat din ba to ni Billy na inelaborate niya lang? Or sarili niya lang tong pagde-define about kung parang tayo, di ba? Minsan gusto natin magsalita ng description ng problema kunwari, tas ibe-base mo kunwari sa planet or sa beast or kung saan. Parang ganun kasi ang style nung ano niya, nung sinulat niya. So nakaka-amaze. Hindi ko lang alam kung saan niya reference.
Ang reference niya primarily yung ating
Wide reader siya,
pinagbabawalan.
sir. Wide reader siya ng creational.
Bible reader yan, tapos may mga
Oo,
libro
Bible
na
reader.
binabasa yan. Active yan sa mga diskusyon
So sariling talino niya yung mga message na sinulat niya.
Accumulated
At saka
knowledge.
wide reader din siya ng creational teachings. Wide reader siya.
But
Ang
so
importante,
her basis, excuse me, so her basis are Billy's works, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
yung bottom line na sinasabi niya is in consonance
Yes.
with what Billy is talking about.
Yeah.
Right. I know, but this law of abundance, all these laws are based on the creational
On
teachings,
Billy.
which was
On
Billy
Billy.
was talking. Okay,
Yes.
just as long as you
Yes.
know that, and then that's how you know, you can approach it. Was it actually one of the books of Billy? I mean, the title of this whole how many page document is this with all the
Almost
laws?
74 laws. Lahat-lahat.
74
almost
laws. You
600
compiled
pages.
it. 600 pages of works were all that compiling of the laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, on her own words. On her own words. Yan ang maganda riyan eh. Yan ang ini-encourage ng Pigo eh. Do it in your own words.
Yes,
Pero
yes.
but then credit has to be given to Pigo.
Yes, and also the German part, so that way there's reference
Thank you
and
po.
as long as she acknowledges that it's also from Billy, you know, because there were people like, for example, what's her name, Shirley MacLaine and all that, or they get stuff and then they claim it for themselves. That's why, you know, that's another thing that has to be I guess protected because he's basically the prophet for our time. So otherwise just like what happened during Manuel's time or Muhammad's time, where they get the teachings and then they change it and make it a religion and stuff like that. We have to safeguard that from happening ever again. That's why it's important to guard the
And the fact
material. So
and the fact that you have the plans to bring a copy to set to the center will be able to address that concern. They are in the best position to say, oh, Paulito, ay, hindi ito pwede. Ay, kagaya ng ginawa nila kay
yeah,
kay
that's
Shirley
right.
MacLaine,
Okay po.
Yes.
Thank you po. Pwede nyo na po sagutin yung tanong ni Tita Helen. Curious lang po ako malaman. Thank you.
Ako, natutuwa ako sa performance ni Pilipinas. I don't know with you. Kung meron man
yeah.
niyang kakulangan, at the end, magse-settle down yan. Mapi-filter yan. Bandang huli, lalabas yan. The fact that you're talking about the laws and recommendations, magpi-filter down yan sa bidding materials. Kaya, yung kakulangan sa spiritual naman na tinatanong ni Helen, sa aking palagay, there is no such thing na kakulangan. Ang meron, ignorance.
So thank you for bringing up that point. It's important. Okay, who else pa ba?
Sige, yung iba.
Ignorance on the laws and whatever, laws and recommendations.
Yeah,
Only
Christopher
So we only have a few
Lago.
minutes, di ba? Hanggang 7
Christopher
o'clock.
Lago, welcome.
So, yeah.
Chris, welcome.
Richie or
Francis.
whoever you want, it's nice.
Sound off, people. Huwag niyong pabayaan na overcome kayo ng daldal ng matandang John.
Sige, try ko kahit ano yung boses. Hindi pa masyado recover. Kasi yung power of spirit, parang sabihin natin, parang kumbaga, tama si Kuya Jun, pwedeng ihambing sa ignorance. Kasi pag try natin ihimay yung spirit, pag nilagay natin sa material ni Bill, it's creation energy. So, hindi kasi nawawala ng energy yung creation energy. It's a constant flow of energy. Kumbaga, battery siya
Hey,
ng...
Richie, I hear you.
Battery siya ng natin. So, siguro, yung pagkaintindi natin sa ni Pilipina, yung or in spirit, pwedeng ihambing sa poverty of consciousness or ignorance of consciousness. Kasi, pwede natin kung ipaparallel natin sa malapit na natin, yung Bible. Ang sabi nila dito, ibig sabihin doon ng poor in spirit, ginugol ko they are the ones who know they cannot rely on themselves. They are not self-sufficient and they live as beggars before God's sa Bible quote yan from Pope Francis homilies. So ibig sabihin pwede siguro natin ihimay na baka ang ibig sabihin is poverty of consciousness. So ibig sabihin ng poverty of consciousness, ignorant siya sa kaalaman ng spiritual teaching, so hindi niya alam paano buhay ng tama yung dapat niyang gawin. So, naghihirap ang consciousness niya, hindi makakain ng spiritual or mga wisdom or mga logical things na dapat magpaunlad sa kanya, magpaunlad sa consciousness niya. So, it falls din sa ignorance. Tama din si Kuya John. Yun ang pagkaintindi ko. Yun siguro. Hindi ko sure kung tama ako, pero inaano ko lang, cross and match ko lang. Yun lang yung sa akin. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Richie. Right. Salamat. Others? Christopher Largo, Francis. Okay ba ang mga Wi-Fi ninyo, ang signal? Delbert, Noy. Noy, thank you. Tama pala yung sa spiritismo na bakahin ang kamangmangan at lumang pananampalataya. Tama pala yun. Fight ignorance. Way? Noy. Largo pala. Ang basa ko ano. Welcome, Christopher. Any impression?
Welcome po. Thank you for having me. I just woke up. It's 6:39 in the morning and I'm going to go to work. Just listening.
Saan ka?
Canada
Nasa
based,
Pilipinas?
Canada based ka ba,
Sa,
Chris?
sa Los Angeles po.
Los
America.
Angeles.
Oh, I
I work
see.
at I work at Kaiser too, like Cynthia.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but in
Thank you.
Pasadena,
Welcome.
Los Angeles. So, thank you
Yeah.
po.
See you
Thank you.
around.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
Yeah, it's nice to be here with like-minded human.
Yeah. Are you a Filipino?
Opo, yeah. I was born
Oh,
and raised in America, Los Angeles, and my parents spoke to me Tagalog, and I could understand everything.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
puti lang. I could speak a little bit.
And he plays the piano very well.
No, I just learned by myself.
Oh,
That's
sige.
English ako, Max.
Meron pa kami. We still have tomorrow's study group again. The same time. Baka mas maaga yata. Yeah, mas earlier.
Okay.
So, Ellen, masaya ka na ba rin sa concern mo ng poverty of spirit?
Oo, okay na. Oo, salamat. Maganda. So, at least aware tayo dun sa kung ano yung poverty. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Sa totoo lang, sa dinami-dami ng batas na nakalista rin sa booklet ni Pilipinas, walang makaka-claim na alam na natin lahat yan.
Yeah.
Kaya pagpursigihan natin na kahit minsan man lang madaanan natin ang perspective ni Pilipinas para tayo sa sarili natin makapagbuo rin ng sarili nating perspective. Kasi meron tayong mga pinagmumulan na pare-pareho, magkakaiba. Pero pag narinig mo pa, bakit Pilipinas, narinig mo yung veil. O ano ba sa spiritismo sa Tagalog yung veil? Sinasabi lambong. Lambong, ignorance din ang pinagmumula nun, yung belief o pananampalataya o fanatismo. Lahat yan lambong. Kung may mga mali, kulang dun sa ating nasumpungan, dapat lang matanggal natin yung lambong na yan. Mapanipis man lang o hindi man totally na maialis. Kasi as we go on, na hindi natin pinoprocess yan, kakapal ng kakapal yung ano na yan, lambong na yan. Ano ba yung tawag sa mga ginagamit ng mga babae pag pupunta sa simbahan? Belo. Belo, di
Belo.
ba? Oo.
Mhm.
Pagka isang belo, manipis, okay lang. Paano kung dagdagan mo, gawin mo dalawa, gawin mo tatlong belo, patong-patong, di ang kapal.
Mhm.
Kung hindi mo ipoprocess yun, kung alam mo kung hindi tamang magtatlong belo ka, o magdalawang belo ka, okay. Yung isa man lang, matanggal mo na yung belo. Yung galing, di ba?
Mhm.
Kaya I propose na, pagtsagaan natin ito. 77 ba
Mhm.
ita mo yung, ilan baka mo
74.
yung lows? 74.
74. Oo. Oo.
Mahaba-habang inuman pa to.
Ayun, at
Sige, yun lang muna.
hindi lang 'yan ang ginawa ni Pilipinas, na meron pa siyang sariling grupo na nakakatuwa at mga espiritista ang kanyang grupo, and then umuwi nga siya ng Pilipinas at shi-share siya dun sa mga, hindi ko lang kung mga sentro o sentro lang niya. And then ang sabi niya, ita-translate niya in Tagalog, kaya siya umuwi
Wow,
din. And then
wow.
all of a sudden nga, ah, namayapa yung kanyang asawa kaya bumalik. Ewan ko lang kung babalik siya uli sa atin, at in-invite ko nga siya sa November. Hindi pa siya nasagot kung confirm na uuwi siya. Yeah.
Magandang balita yan.
Mm-mm. May ano din pati, yung boses niya parang may power, 'di ba Jun? Nakausap mo na ba siya na ano?
Hindi pa. By way of
Hindi
ano
pa.
lang, communications lang. Pero
Oo.
doon
Oo,
pa
may
lang sa
text
Saan ka
niya
ba
na.
si
chat,
Francis?
makikita mo na yung kanyang yung kanyang
Oo.
strength. I call it
Oo.
strength.
May timbre yung kanyang boses.
Ganun pala,
Oo.
di lalo na.
Oo. Oo. At saka kung makipag-usap sa sa'yo, bibigyan ka niya ng time, at pinakamahaba is 30 minutes kasi nga busy siya, pero hindi ka niya kakausapin ng nagdudumali, 'no? Bibigyan ka niya ng
Okay.
time talaga, yeah.
Good nagkausap na kayo. You know
Mhm.
each other better. Kami naman nagkausap na rin by way of comments and reactions nung araw.
Mhm.
In the end, we end up friends.
Francis, baka meron kang maidadagdag?
Ang tanong ko lang po kung for in spirit at saka yung poverty in spirit, pareho lang po ba sila?
Yeah, pakiulit, poverty and spirit and
Yung poor in spirit at saka poverty in spirit, kung magkapareha lang ba sila?
Jun, baka gusto mo sagutin.
Ano yung kino-compare sa poverty of spirit? Anong word yan?
Opo, kasi yung parang, ay yung kanina
Can you
kasi
say
yung
it again?
sinabi, ay yung kung pareho lang po ba yung poor in spirit and poverty in spirit po ba?
Foreign ba
Pa,
ang sabi mo?
po,
Anong
poverty at saka poverty in spirit at saka poor in spirit ba?
Poor in spirit.
foreign?
Poor.
F-O-R. Poor.
Poor spirit.
Pareho lang yun. Pareho lang yun. Pareho
Kasi
lang yun.
parang kwan kasi yung
Oo.
kwan ko
Oo.
lang, i-add ko lang kasi yung parang iba yung sa poverty. Kasi yung kanina yung kay Kuya Totoy, kay Kuya Richie kasi sa base sa base siya sa ano to sa poor in spirit po. Kasi yung sa na mayroon ako nabasa tungkol sa poverty in spirit, bale yung poverty spirit
involves questioning one's belief, rethinking personal values or understanding a deep inner transformation. It might be marked by experience of doubt, struggle, or sense of awakening, leading to a more refined, mature connection to faith, purpose, or self-awareness. Yung example, yung could be a person has been religious since childhood, but during their late teens or early adult begins to question their faith deeply. This might be a challenging period, but through reflection, seeking guidance, and personal experience, they emerge with a more profound, mature understanding of their spirituality.
Yes, 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 yes.
Kasi yung sa kwan po, yung sa poor in spirit, yung sample yung sa poor in spirit yung si Mother Teresa, yung gumawa siya ng mabuting halimbawa po sa kwan, bale, ano ba yan?
Para maintindihan nating mabuti yan,
Who,
Francis.
who serves poor from the down through then with great humility, always acknowledge her needs for God's strength. Paano po, wait? Paano ko ba ito?
Nagkakaintindihan tayo riyan Francis
Opo, opo.
Yung pag sa bottom sa definition ng simbahan o ng pananampalataya. Madaling sabihin yung poor in spirit, madaling sabihin yung poverty in spirit, madaling sabihin yung devilish, mga ganun Pero sa definition naman ng building materials, there's no such thing as poor spirit or poverty in
Poverty
spirit.
spirit.
Oo, kasi unang-una, neutral yung energy yan hindi naman yan
Yes po.
individual. So, hindi magiging applicable yan. Pero ang ibig sabihin niyan, yung nakaduktong yan sa sinasabi ni Richie na ignorance of consciousness. Kasi
Yes
pag
po.
inilabas mo sa spirit, pupunta ka sa consciousness. At consciousness is something material. Pagka material ka na, yan papasok yung pag-iisip, lahat-lahat, lahat ng values and unvalues, dyan papasok So, dyan magiging salat ang maraming bagay. Salat meaning kulang, kapos, mali. Pero yung ignorance, yun naman ang pinagmumulan lahat ng kakasalatan. Kung hindi mo talaga alam na meron pa ng law of abundance, salat ka doon sa punto na yun. Ngayon, kung kagaya niya, nadaanan natin yung konting article na yan ni Pilipinas na meron pa ng ganitong law of abundance. Ito pa lang pinag-uusapan doon. Kahit pa paano, nadagdagan na yung ng konting kaalaman. Hindi ka na totally ignorant. Ngayon, kung ipupurso mo pa yan, baka yung ignorance mo can be overwhelmed and later on you will say, now I know. I don't have to believe because now I know. Pagka dumating ka na ron, nadaanan natin sa tungkol sa religion, sa pananampalataya, mabuburan lahat yun sa isang babaksak yun. Mawawala na lang yun. Isa pang hindi nyo nababanggit, sa Bible, meron kong tinatawag na fruit of the Spirit. So, isa pa yung controversial. Pero all the while, ang pinag-uusapan yan fruit of consciousness. Nandiyan yung love, nandiyan yung whatever, marami yan Marami yung fruit of spirit.
Yes
Doon
po.
lahat babaksak So, kung buburahin natin yung salitang spirit sa ating discussion, wala naman tayong magagawa doon. Creational energy yan, lakas yan Material lang yan. Ang puntahan natin yung consciousness. Yan
Tama
yung
po.
material side. Okay, doon lang ako.
Thank you po.
Thank you, JS. So, clear na sa'yo, Francis?
Yes po, yes.
Yan.
Loud and clear.
Salamat. Like-minded nga, no? Mm, hindi tanong, ano ang natutunan natin dito sa Law of Abundance? Nakakatuwa ba? Nakaka I mean, yung Law of Abundance, hindi lang sa ating material na kalagayan i-a-apply, kung hindi sa ating sa kamalayan, hindi na sa espiritu. May nadiskubre ba tayo sa ating mga sarili na
Yes.
aha,
Seeing things in a different perspective.
mhm,
Kasi yung the way we understood, interpret it sa atin yun. Pero pag narinig natin magkwento yung iba, o nga naman, parang di ko naisip na ganun din pala yun. So nadagdagan ng perspective, lumawak.
thank you. Yumaman.
Ako din, parting words ko. I was
Okay.
so amazed kay Pilipinas. Napakaganda ng thought niya. Napakaganda ng set ng mind niya. Yung buong binasa na yun, nasundan ko yung pagbabasa ni Sidja. Para lang akong lumulutang, sabi ko. Ngayon lang ako kasi usually kahit na sila David Castro, pag nagbabasa, ganon. Hanggang sa may ginagawa ka. Ngayon talagang halos mapopokus ka dun sa mga words ni Pilipinas na ayaw mong, parang gusto mong wag matapos. Maganda, maganda. Kaya ako na-curious na alamin kung saan niya binasihan, bakit kung sinasabi niyong sarili niya lang isip yon, nakaka-amaze siya. Parang siyang medium din as in do sa pagsasalita niya. Thank you po.
Oh, I was really, but I feel the same like Sora. It's like it's like an aphrodisiac, like you get high. It's like of all the stuff, of all the translations, that so I feel it's a very poetic, and it's almost like it's like a it's like a familiar melody, and then it's like she took it. I felt like she took us there, to that level, to understand how it works, and it's like you're part of this whole symphony of creation, and it's very moving for me. So, and then you understand, how things is what she was able to go into, like the physics of it in both the seen and unseen world, both spirit and matter, and to see that they're one and the same. It's so beautiful, actually. So I'm excited. I can hardly wait to be able to, bring it to the attention of the FIGU members.
Go.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so I think whatever expenses that you incur, we should from our treasury support that, because these are all important things that we can do as a group, not only for us but for the English speaking world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Siguro pwede nating ipadala yung ating recording sa kanya today.
But
Kay
see,
Pilipinas.
Oo.
Dapat yun, SOP. Dapat SOP yun eh.
Oo, yeah. Ano nga in-invite ko siya nung nag-i-start tayo dahil naka-online siya. Siguro meron din siyang turo. Nagtuturo din siya at the same time.
so
Or baka
yeah.
sakali, huwag mo munang patayan na ito. Maiksi lang ito. Pilipinas brought me or asked me to ride ano ang tawag doon, yung Paris, yung roller coaster. I was riding a car that is being pulled upwards, slowly upwards. And then when it reached the peak, Bumagsak naman pababa. Naku, overwhelming ang dating. Baligayang-baligaya ako doon sa nakita. Yan is Pilipinas Sport. Yan ang ginawa sa akin kanina. Isa pang analogy is while I was looking at it, I was listening, I thought I was looking at a firework, yung kastilyo kung tawagin, yung pag pinisindihan mo, papanik sa langit. Dahan-dahan, umakyat. Pagdating dun sa dulo, saka pumotok. Ganyan ang analogy ko dun sa nangyari ngayong gabi. Thank you.
Salamat po. Pasensya na po talaga. I have to turn it off. May school na po yun.
Sige.
Sorry,
Okay.
Okay lang po.
Bye-bye.
Maraming salamat,
Salome,
everybody.
thank
Salome
you.
sa lahat.
Good
Salamat
night.
for
Salome.
joining.
Sakto.
Bye-bye po.
Ganda ng
Thank you
timing
po.
natin.
Take care po
See
sa
you
lahat.
again. Thank